very much indeed for your time. Now, as well as these strong words about a dangerous game, last week France accused Turkey of harassing a French ship off the coast of Libya. What's this increase in tensions between these NATO allies due to?
Well, France is clearly disappointed. What it's seeing emerging in Western Libya is exactly the opposite of what it wanted. Before April 2019, when there was still time to prevent this decision by Marshal Haftar to launch a very massive, high-profile attack on Tripoli, because at the end of the day it was an attack, France thought that it was going to work out, that he was going to win within a couple of weeks. And not only did he fail, but he actually carved out a space and an excuse, an alibi for Turkey to move in. And Turkey is here to stay now. And all those sentences and pronouncements that we're hearing from the French officials, including the president, do not indicate at all that France has a strategy. We know that France is in a bad mood. It's disappointed. It's angry. You have a lot of emotion, but still no policy on what to do about Libya, because now Turkey in Western Libya is a fact of life. And so I just would like to underscore this disconnect between the high level of emotion and the incidents that you mentioned, or the quasi-incidents in the Mediterranean, and the absence of a policy.
So just how important has Turkey's support been in those efforts to push back Haftar's Libyan National Army?
Instrumental, absolutely instrumental. Turkey, at the end of the day, is the only state, and it's not just any state. It's an actual, it's a major NATO power with a real industry, a lot of military technologies that are indigenous to itself, and it intervened officially, overtly, and fully. It's the first time it has happened since 2011. And this is not what France thought was going to happen. France was betting on clandestine action like the UAE's, for instance, but Turkey decided to call that bluff and went in overtly and visibly, and that wasn't part of the plan.
Now, of course, all these countries getting involved might have different motives, but what would you say the main ones are? What is Libya's appeal?
Well, Turkey is a consumer of energy. By linking up with Libya and entrenching itself in Western Libya in the form of 2 military bases, for instance, you have the guarantee that it's going to find a lot of oil inland and also a lot of natural gas under the water. So all those things are secured. The ideological motivation exists. We should not deny that, because now Erdogan represents something much more concrete to a lot of political currents in the upper half of Africa, in Sudan, Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria. Now it means that Turkey can actually defend its own ideology, which is political Islam in many ways, on the part of President Erdogan. And you also have commercial motivations. There was a lot of business that Turkey was doing with Gaddafi before 2011, and all of this can be revived. And we're talking about almost $20 billion. So commercial, geostrategic, ideological, and it just clicks, it just works. And that's the reason I think that Turkey is not going to leave.
And with Turkey on one side and Russia on the other, it has to be said it's reminiscent of the situation in Syria. I mean, there are parallels between these two conflicts, aren't there?
Well, my job as an analyst is to push back on it, because there's no UAE in Syria. So when Jean-Yves Le Drian, for example, starts using this phrase of Syrianization of Libya, it's very misleading, because it hides the principal actor that launched or helped Marshal Haftar launch this huge mistake that was the April 2019 offensive. So we have to find an analogy that actually does justice to the big role of the UAE. The Russia as a state is not that active. The entity that is active, which is Russian, which is linked to the Kremlin, Wagner, this mercenary company, I doubt that the Russian state is paying for all of this. It's very expensive. And we've seen signs that Wagner and the state, the Emirati state, the UAE, both are working very closely together, logistically speaking, in eastern Libya. So we have to find a way to tell the public that the UAE is still in the picture.
OK, well, thank you very much indeed for your time. We've run out of time for now. We really appreciate your analysis. Jalel Harchaoui, thank you.